Hey guys, what's going on? This is Badfish. Welcome back to Gone Gaming. If you're new to my channel, welcome to the beautiful city of San Pedro. It's my current ongoing realistic Cities Skylines playthrough based off of the American West Coast. And today, guys, we are back in the city proper doing a bit of a different build. So in my last video, one of my viewers, it was Aviation History Hub, actually asked if I could make something reminiscent of the German village in Columbus, Ohio. So I wanted to take that on and try it out. I don't do a lot of European style builds, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to do it in this way where it's, a European build but still an American city. So I wanted to just make a little block here, a little European quarter, and I think it turns out pretty cool. So right now you see me detailing this little church here. So I kind of built that as our main centerpiece. So my idea behind that, to kind of build a story here for you of this little quarter that we're building, is, people left Europe a lot for religious persecution reasons, and it definitely still happened all the way through the 1900s, and they would come to America and they would end up going west. So they're here, they built this big church, after coming back from Europe, and it turned into this historical quarter that the city of San Pedro just absolutely loves. They're really excited about it. They're excited to be able to have like a European flair to the city as well, and it's become a big tourist destination. So now it's very well manicured and put together. That's kind of the same, close to the same story of the actual German village in Columbus. So that's kind of the headcanon I'm going for here with this city. But we're just placing down the last few buildings here, and then we're going to do a quick jump into some more detailing of the actual build. So at this point, all the buildings are down, and I wanted to just start adding in details. So I start using network fences. I finally got network fences, guys. People asked me about those in the last video. So I finally made the jump there and joined the rest of you. So just using the fences to kind of delineate where I want some of the natural growth to be. I like these black iron fences. I think they go really well for like a European theme. So I just had those kind of spread throughout and utilizing them to just add some more detail to the typical landscaping I'm going to do. And our landscaping is going to change up a little bit from what it typically is. You'll see that in a second. I'd go for some different kinds of trees and stuff in this area, again, just to make it a little bit different from the rest. And right here, that is going to be like a little park going and leading up to the church, and that ends up looking really nice. You might have seen it in the opening cinematic if you were paying attention, but that's going to be kind of like the centerpiece of everything next to the, actual church itself. So now I'm just going through and adding in this surface painter concrete just to make the space look a little more connected to one another, and adding a little more detail that way, and just popping in some ads and stuff just to, again, add more detail where you can. And a lot of these blank walls, I just didn't like looking at them. I wanted to have something on them. So I had these European ads from, the base game, and I just popped a few in just to put a little spice of life into it. And right here, we are going to be building out like a little pub. So at one point in adding the buildings, if you were quick-eyed, you might have seen me add just a scattering of specific buildings. Those were all pubs. So I'm going through and just adding like seating to them, and these cool little umbrellas that are actually a German brand of beer, it looks like. So that works well for this space as well. And just adding a little detail that way. We're gonna do a few more of those. And like I said, here is going to be the main kind of drag here, and leading up to the church, I really wanted something that would catch your eye. So I'm going to go ahead and make it's essentially a small park. It's, in my head, it's actually part of the church, like they own that land and it's, upkept by them. But I think it ends up looking really cool. We get this like really cool kind of Greek fountain. So maybe this is an Orthodox church or something, who knows. But there's a really cool fountain that we put in here, and so some nice landscaping to make it look really pretty and really manicured. So let me know what you guys think about this park itself, but I think it looks really nice. And doing the landscaping and stuff for this area was a bit of a challenge, just because I am going away from what I typically do. So like I said, I'm using some different trees. They're called like linden trees, I believe. So they're actually still, at least from what I see, still perfect for this environment. I actually got them off of a pack of like shrubbery and stuff for the American Southwest. So they still fit, you know, at least from what I know. I don't know that for sure. And, you know, like these cypress trees, and just putting in some bushes and stuff just to add some pops of color in here as well. And again, delineate the space a little bit better. And we'll put some benches and stuff in here as well. And then just adding some extra bushes for undergrowth. Because I just think it's nice. I think it adds a little something just to have that undergrowth bit to it. So yeah, just putting some benches on the fountain itself for people to congregate and hang out in. That was one thing with the actual German village in Columbus that I saw a lot, was a lot of benches and seating areas, because it is, you know, a tourist area at its heart. You know, they want people to be able to go here and enjoy kind of the quaint European vibe as opposed to the big city of San Pedro. So that's kind of the idea I have there. And now we are going to go ahead and just do our main bunch of landscaping. So again, just doing the bunches of landscaping, grabbing it with Move It, Control C, Control V. So I'm not going to show this whole thing, but this is just kind of the main way that we go through everything with the landscaping here. And we'll do a quick cut now just to me touching up the landscaping a little bit with some undergrowth and things like that. Again, just to add that little bit of added realism. And then once we're done with the landscaping here, we are going to jump in and do some extra detailing with some like parking lots and stuff. So it is still an American city, guys. We still are going to have lots of parking lots, even though it's like a European quarter of an American city. We can't escape those parking lots forever. So got to pop a few of those in. So just doing some static ones up against the actual buildings themselves. You do see those other parking lots that I had put in earlier. Those are just the typical actual in-game usable ones, and they filled up pretty quickly, which I'm happy about. So people are actually utilizing them, which is great. And adding a few more cars here just to, you know, get a little bit more of a different look to it. I didn't want it to all be the same cars. And then this is another one of the pubs. So I'm just adding this little like garage asset to actually add a door on the back of this. It was the only thing I really had that worked at the time. It's fine for now. I might get just some like door props that I can just throw onto the side of buildings so I can have doors. But what we're doing here is, again, just making like a little seating area for the restaurant / pub. So fencing it in, adding these cool hedges for some privacy, since there is residential area right on the other side of this. You don't want people hanging out and, you know, trying to eat while just like looking at some kid on their swing. So just made that a little more private and added in, of course, just the tables and chairs and the umbrellas and things like that. Again, I think it looks nice. I think adding little restaurants like this is so easy. It's literally 2 props if you really just want to do tables and chairs. And it adds so much detail just to those little areas. You know, even if it's not a restaurant prop and it's just a building that looks like a restaurant, you can pop a couple tables and chairs in front of that. Have yourself a good old time. And now I am going to go through and do what I do in a lot of the area of San Pedro, and just add these single planters kind of up against the buildings and on the sidewalks and things like that. And just pop in some trees and stuff. Again, the German village in Columbus, it looked to be very green. So I really wanted to make sure I had a lot of vegetation kind of sparse throughout this area. I didn't want to do too much, like I'm not doing a forest, but you know, enough to make it look very pretty and very well manicured, and like an area that, you know, the city council is trying to upkeep. So again, I'm not going to show you me going through every single road that I do that on. So we're just going to do a jump cut, and now we're just making another little plaza for people to go and sit and hang out in. Again, just keeping it real simple. This one, we just put another fountain and a couple of different flowers and tulips and stuff like that. Again, just getting those pops of color and getting those cool places for people to enjoy their day at. And, you know, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. I think it ends up looking really nice, even though it's just this very simple fountain and planter. It's very colorful, so when you scroll out, you can really notice it even in, like, screenshots and things like that. So I really, you know, for a simple area, enjoy that. And, you know, adding some more benches over here to the park area. Again, I just, like I said, wanted a lot of places for people to hang out and sit down, for tourists to hang out and sit down. And we're going to finish up today's build by just going through adding some superfluous details like street ads, and we're going to do our decals and things. And I think I do build out one more restaurant as well. So these are my Firefly and Star Trek street ads. I just think they're fun. and then some New York City street ads that are just for random businesses and things like that. Again, just to add some more detail to the sidewalks, make them look a little more interesting. Where this is a tourist area, you're going to want to have ads and things like that. And like I said, we're going to finish it off, of course, with our decal work, just to scuff up the area, to make it look a little more used and a little less pristine. I say this in every episode, but there is no such thing as clean concrete. It just doesn't, unless it was laid yesterday, it is dirty. That is just a fact of life. So I'm going to let the music go ahead and play out here, guys, because that is just going to about do it for this build. I will see you on the other end. Hey guys, just 1 second, just finishing up some landscaping here. Let's take a look at this. I think it came out pretty good. Anyway, you guys aren't here for this beautiful landscaping, you're here to see the European town. So let's zoom on over here, show you what we built today. So here we got our little European quarter mixed into our big major town over here. So let's go in and we'll take a look at some of the build and what we did here. So I wanted it to be able to blend in pretty well with the actual city itself. I think we achieved that. I think it looks pretty good when juxtaposed against everything that we've been doing naturally. So just going through here, just using a different mix of European like row houses and things like that. We have our, our ads and our, still our cracks and stuff, and these nice trees kind of planted throughout here. So I probably talked about this in the time lapse, but I did use a little bit different kind of landscaping through here. Still trees that make sense for this climate, but they do look a little bit more full and, they're more deciduous and just fit better for a European theme. So we just got all the houses kind of scattered throughout. We got some pubs throughout here as well. So there's this one over here that has this little seating area. There's one that I really like. Where did I put that one? Yeah, this guy over here. So this is a pub. You can see the front of it right here. And then if you go out back, it's got this nice little beer garden kind of thing right in the back here that you can go and have your beer or your dinner or whatever you might be doing. But I just think it's a fun time. And then of course the main centerpiece of the entire build was this church over here. First of all, this asset just in itself is awesome. Here, I'll change the lighting a little bit so we can actually see it a little bit. So this asset's beautiful. I think that is a great centerpiece, this church here. And then of course we got this little park leading up to it that I think ended up looking really nice. It's really cozy, nice little park here. As I clip into a building 1 second, but I think it just looks nice as like a centerpiece. And then you just got the little bit of European stuff branching out, and then the major city filled in with it. So I didn't want it to be too big. I wanted to just kind of have like a nice small little area. The German village in Columbus that I looked at, it was just nice, pretty, green, lots of places to sit down and hang out. So that's why I have these parks kind of scattered throughout. And of course it's still an American city, even though we're doing European theme for this block. So you gotta have your car parks. But I think it came out pretty good. I don't do a lot of European work in Cities Skylines, so definitely let me know what you guys think, especially people who make European cities. Let me know if it turned out good and, how it looks compared to the rest of the city, but I think it blends in pretty well. But that is going to do it for today's time lapse, or not time lapse. So that is going to do it for today's build, guys. So I do hope you enjoyed it, and we're going to jump into those cinematics for you. But before we go, definitely, if you've been enjoying my videos, leave a like down below and subscribe to my channel. We got a bunch of different stuff coming out. I usually do like 3 to 4 videos a week. So definitely check that out and subscribe if you haven't already. And other than that, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.